During the early days of the One-Year War, Zeon's mobile suits showed how absolutely dominating they were on the battlefield. But as the war dragged on, Zeon felt that a new weapon was needed to support their mobile suits. These new weapons would need to be mobile fire support units with an emphasis on heavy firepower and heavy armor. These machines were dubbed mobile armors. In the rush to create these, many concepts were thrown around, resulting in some successful designs, but also less successful designs. One of the earliest mobile armor designs was the Zakrello. Even though it only saw combat after the more famous Bigro and Groblo, work had actually already begun on it before them. However, due to numerous problems with the design and issues at the manufacturer, the rollout of the Zakrello would be severely delayed. And originally, the machine wasn't even given a model number due to the Zeon High Command having serious doubts about its performance and usability in real combat, perhaps partially inspired due to its problematic design and construction phase. But in recent years, the machine has become known under the model number MA04X. How good its actual performance was, though, is up for debate. What we can say for certain is that the Zakrello had very good weapons. Its main weapon was a scattering megaparticle cannon located in the quote-unquote mouth of the mobile armor, and while it did only have a short range, it could take out multiple targets at once and also had the power to take out a Salamis cruiser with one shot. Additionally, thanks to its good power condenser, it could also be fired in rapid succession. It's even said that this technology was further developed and later used in the Scute. Its other weapons then are 2 heat natas instead of normal hands, and a 4-tube missile launcher underneath each of the arms. Other weapons are also known to have been tested out on the Zakrello at the California base, but these are the only ones that we actually know about. Another certainty was that the Zakrello severely lacked agility, making it very difficult to dodge enemy attacks, a fatal flaw that would eventually become its downfall.
間違いない。エンジンを直撃できたはずだ。こちらのコンピューターで簡単に動きが読めた。一体どういうつもりで？
The uncertain part then is how fast the machine really was. Initial testing showed that even though the thrusters of the Zakrello were pretty big, they were underpowered for what they were. So not only did the machine lack mobility, but it was also slow. This would explain why the Zakrello was deemed unfit for combat and then later shipped off to be decommissioned. Contrary to this though, other sources have stated that the machine was actually a very effective high-speed hit-and-run machine, and even the anime seems to show that the Zakrello was at least on par with the RX-78-2 equipped with the B parts, which was the high-speed version of the RX-78-2. Another uncertain thing are those 2 red domes on the shoulders. Most sources don't mention these, but an odd source has claimed that these are spray missile launchers. However, this is most likely based purely on their visual similarities to the spray missile launchers of the gun cannon. Finally then, one of the more striking design choices of the Zakrello was that it didn't use a mono-eye like almost all other Zeon machines, but instead opted for compound eyes, giving it a very unique appearance. While it's unknown how many of these machines were eventually produced, there is the one initial prototype, several sightings of additional units later on, and even a few variations both during and after the One-Year War. During the war, the Flanagan Institute would begin work on 2 new type variants, the first one being the Man-00X2 Brahrilla. As its name indicates, this machine was a combination of the Zakrello and the Brabro, and was intended as a mass production machine for new types. That being said, the end result was essentially just a Zakrello with a Psychomu system, and then weapons that used said system. The claws were now wire-guided in a very similar way to those of the Zeong, and on the rear of the machine were two wire-guided megaparticle guns designed after those on the Brabro. It of course kept the scattering megaparticle cannon and the 4-tube missile launchers. Once completed, the Brahrilla was sent to Abawaku as a training machine for new type pilots. And similarly to the Brabro, the Brahrilla had a two-seater cockpit that also allowed non-new type pilots to operate the machine. Supposedly, this machine also fought during the Battle of Abawaku, but there are no records left to confirm this. The other Zakrello variant designed by the Flanagan Institute then was the Man-00X Bartazard, although this machine never made it past the blueprint stage. It was to be a completely overhauled new type version of the Zakrello. Since many new type pilots were still young, the Bartazard was designed as another two-seater machine. This way, a professional pilot could focus on flying, while the young new type could focus on the weapons. For this purpose, the compound eyes were changed to two mono eyes, one for each pilot. In terms of weapons, the 4-tube missile launchers were omitted, the heat natas were replaced with close combat wired bits, and the scattering megaparticle cannon was replaced with 2 bits for an all-range attack that also had a mono eye each. It also had improved thrusters for better speed and mobility, and was even going to be outfitted with an eye field generator. All of these changes probably turned the Bartazard into a pretty expensive mobile armor that at the end of the day fulfilled a role that was very similar to the Brahrilla, which is probably what caused it to be shelved in the end. A Zakrello variant then that was used after the 1-year war was the MA-04X3 Umgarna. It kept the Zakrello's main weapon, but the fuselage was completely redesigned and even incorporated a transformation to a high-speed cruising mode. It could also be equipped with a tail-like missile container, which gave the mobile armor a very snake-like appearance. Finally then, one mobile armor that definitely had some Zakrello design influences was the Gazarello. This was supposedly a competing design with the Cubile to become Axis' next generation elite unit. And I would say it's a good thing that Haman didn't go with this Goblin Shark design. And that is all for the development history of a mobile armor that is often considered one of the ugliest designs of all of Gundam. And while I'm not going to defend the original design, I will defend this particular redesign that's on screen right now. The Takuya redesign managed to turn it into the menacing machine that it was meant to be. Also, the redesign from Gundam Historica, which is sometimes referred to as the Zakrello Kai, is also a really sweet machine. And I also really like the touch that they turned those weird ass eyes and that weird mouth into nose cone art. So, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more similar content in the future. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great day, and I'll see you all next time.